We had a nice season, and at the freshman level we worried less about, and I went on about this all year long, less about wins and losses and more about developing players and getting them to understand what it means to be a team, what it means to show up and work hard every day, even on those days where you don't necessarily feel like it. And through it all, you know, you talk about starting strong, finishing strong, and we did that. When I look back at the season a couple of days ago, and I'm jotting down some notes, I think about what we did. We started off 7-0, and so it was a great start. We had a couple losses in there, and then to end the season, you know, we went 2 out of our last 3. One against a team that had kind of handed us, pretty hard earlier in the season, but we beat them at their place, coming down the stretch, through injuries, through some kids who had fouled out in the game, and they never gave in. And that, to me, I realized at that point, we're going to lose. We have a strong team here. We have some kids with a lot of character, and they get it. They're starting to get it. And it was great for me to see, personally. When I look back on the season, I thought about those losses, and I hadn't realized it at the time, but looking back, out of the 4 losses, we had 2 combined for a total of 8 points. And we didn't lose a game by, we had 1 game we lost more than 6 points. And not necessarily the win in mind, but more about the fact that you think about how hard they worked. You know, they never let it get out of hand. And that's a tough thing to do throughout the season. You know, the winter season is the longest season. They got all kinds of things going on in school. I know how dedicated they are in the classroom, and it's an outstanding thing. And it's really easy for me as a coach because I never have to worry about them getting in the class or making sure they're making grades. They're always there, and I know that they're working hard in the classroom. Then they come onto the court, and there are days where we don't look great, but I challenged them, and I did it over and over and over again because I knew I could, and they stepped up each and every time. So the fact that we were never out of a game, we were always in it till the end, said a lot about them and their character and their willingness to commit themselves to a program, to each other, to the season. And I think that, more than anything else in life, is going to lead you to success. You know, whether it's on the court or on the field, but more important, this game we call life. Those are the key moments there. You start to realize, you know, you're growing up, and life is difficult, and there are times in your life where you have a choice. You can kind of fold it in, or you can jump back and hit it harder. And they did that. They stepped up every time, and it wasn't easy, but hopefully they learned a little bit. I think they did. Hopefully they take those little successes and turn them into big successes down the road, just with their willingness to work hard. So, all right. Having said that, I'd like to call up each student athlete, and at the end we'll give them a nice round of applause and thank them for the season. I'd like to start with Allison Bonetti. Jamie Cullinan. Amanda Flaherty. Are you 5 feet? I think she's under 5 feet, but by far the toughest kid that we have. Melanie Coulter. August. She does start shooting when she does, the ball goes in. It's amazing. Good job. Erin Martin. Grace Murphy. Grace realized you can play defense with your feet, and you're really, really good at it. Olivia Varghese. Maddie Warrock. And our last and final recipient here is also the recipient of the MIA Sportsmanship Award. This is a tough award because there are always a couple kids, 2 or 3 kids you think about that you could hand this out to, and I could probably hand it out to at least a half dozen of these kids, because they show up every day and they work hard, they do all those little things about being a good teammate. But this person, this individual in particular, showed up every day and smiled more than anyone else I know. She smiled in layup lines, she smiled when she played defense, she smiled when I was yelling at him, she smiled all the time, drove me nuts. But no, it's a good thing. She was a great teammate. She worked hard. In that final game we played, we had a couple kids foul out. She stepped off the bench. She had a couple key steals, and she worked hard all season. Did all those little things. Never became discouraged. Wasn't the kid who always played the most. Wasn't the kid who scored the most, but did all those other things. Got everybody up for practice, and it was a really good thing. So Rachel, Selena, congratulations. So I'd like to have everyone, if you could share with me this moment and congratulate these kids on another nice season. I know there are lots of things waiting for you guys, and I wish you the best in all your future endeavors. Good job. Coach Lyons.